It seems we have another garbage attack on Steam. Of course, leading the charge, as always, is good old politically correct gamer. I should do a video just on them at some point. Valve antitrust lawsuit leads to questions about Steam's unwritten rules. Andy Chalk, of course, it's Andy Chalk, writes. A Wolfire Games blog post about its reasons for suing Valve inspired some strong reactions from developers. A couple of weeks ago, Overgrowth developer Wolfire Games filed an antitrust lawsuit against Valve, alleging that it uses Steam's dominant position in the digital gaming space to extract an extraordinarily high cut from nearly every sale that passes through its store. So, with the Apple versus Epic lawsuit going on, we actually know that that's not true. See, it's not a high cut. Apple charges 30% too. So does everybody in every other space except for video games. This talking point that the 30% cut of digital marketplaces is somehow, high or ridiculous, it stems from, again, we're looking at communist labor theory of value garbage. Okay, coming from these avowed socialists, activists. These aren't journalists. These aren't game developers even. And we'll get to Overgrowth and why Wolffire Games is an activist all on its own later on. But or something. There's something. um, but yeah, of course they're going to take a 30% cut. That's the industry standard. And just because Epic Games came in and said, well, we're going to do a different industry standard. And there's still, if you make a game in Unreal, it's still taking upwards of 20% anyway. And also, they're in competition with Steam. And I would say it's a good competition. The competition is that they're way of trying to get people to come across has been every underhanded trick in the book and every above board trick in the book. And hey, that's how business is. That's how competition works. So one of the above board tricks is that they're buying up exclusives for the Epic store. That's fine. I don't buy them because I'm not going to use a cheap Chinese malware storefront like the Epic Games store. But if you want to do that, and another one has been they've been just giving away free games. They're paying these developers. Hey, this is like the equivalent of 500,000 sales, and we're gonna give your game away for free. Okay, sure, that's above board. The below board stuff is that they're taking people like Apple to court. They tried to drag Steam into the court filings to get access to Steam's internal sales data and things, which is again they're using lawfare to try and ruin their competition. And I guarantee you that Wolfire Games and Epic Games have something going on with this lawsuit. One of the central complaints in Rosen's lawsuit is that Valve prevents other storefronts from competing on price by making developers promise not to sell their games at a lower price on other stores. That's industry standard in every industry. To say, look, if what our company is known for is our low price, Walmart does this. If what we're known for is our low prices, then in our contract with you to sell your merchandise, you have to agree. By the way, it's not a promise. It's not a promise, PC gamer. It's called a contract. You take a contract not to sell your game at a lower price on other stores. And if you do that, well, they're not going to take your money away, and they're not even going to take you to court. They're going to pull your game off of Steam. And if you value having your game on Steam, then you'll honor your fucking contract. Basic business, boys. Rosen said he ran into that issue when he decided to release Overgrowth at a lower price on other storefronts in order to take advantage of their lower commission rates. Well, okay then. When I asked Valve about this plan, they replied that they would remove Overgrowth from Steam if I allowed it to be sold at a lower price anywhere, even from my own website without Steam keys and without Steam's DRM. There you go. Is it important to sell it onto Steam platform? Well, apparently it is, because I just looked you up and you're still on Steam selling for $30. We'll get to your game. We'll get to your shitty game, furry boy. While talking to other developers about problems that they were having with Steam, they kept referring to it as a monopoly and saying that there was nothing that we could do. Who are you talking to? Who's talking to you about this? A bunch of fucking itch.io left-wing activists pretending to be game developers, making shit in Game Maker 3. I could make a fucking game in Game Maker 3, or fucking anybody can make game. Like, before I get too mad about this, your game looks like just a bullshit Unity fucking asset grab. With furry inspired edginess or whatever. So fuck you. I wondered, has anybody actually checked if Valve is obeying antitrust law? So I consulted with legal experts, which eventually culminated in the complaint. Okay. Antitrust laws, huh? So they're conspiring with their competition to keep other competition out of the market. They're acting as a cartel. Well, that doesn't figure, because Origin existed for many years, and Blizzard has a launcher which millions upon millions of people use at any given time because of Warzone, World of Warcraft, among other games, Overwatch and all that shit. That's all exclusive. Final Fantasy XIV has its own launcher. Lots of MMOs do. Bethesda has its own launcher. Microsoft is competition now. You look at the market share of Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass on the PC platform, and suddenly it doesn't look so much like a goddamn monopoly. Where the dominant market share is that, yeah, players like Steam, and attacking Steam like this isn't going to endear you to them, especially with your game. We'll get to that. Rosen said most developers will earn the bulk of their PC game sales through Steam. There you go. That's why it's desirable. But added that the inability to experiment with lower prices on other stores makes it impossible to determine whether Steam's higher rate of commission, 30%, compared to 12% on Epic and Microsoft, is actually justified. No, it's actually not hard. You can just do the math of how many you expect to sell on those fucking platforms. And say, oh, well, if I sell this many compared to how many I'm selling on Steam at this price, then I'll make this much money. Now, there's a level of fucking risk to that, sure. And notice, with you still being on Steam, you didn't want to take that risk there, did you, buddy? But you take the risk of suing them. I fully support Valve pulling all your games off their website immediately. I believe that Valve is taking away gamers' freedom to choose how much extra they are willing to pay to use their platform. Are they, though? I don't know about that. There's nothing stopping you from going to GOG, Epic, and whoever else, signing exclusive. Oh, right. Epic does exclusives. How well do they do? Oh, right. Not as well as they do on Steam. Interesting. So is Valve taking away gamers' choices, or are gamers just not buying them on fucking Epic? If you wanted to release on Epic at a lower price point, your next game, completely exclusive to the Epic store, and then a year later or 6 months later or whatever, sell it on Steam, you'll see the same fucking thing. More people are going to buy it on Steam. Well, maybe not you people, because your activism is now attempting to fuck Steam over on behalf of Epic. I believe also compared to 12% on Epic and Microsoft, I believe that Microsoft discussed the 12% price point, but I don't believe they've actually put it into action. I would like some citation on that. Regardless, I don't have time to click down the link hole in this video. I believe that Valve is I believe they are taking away competing stores' freedom to compete by taking advantage of their lower commission rates. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're saying if you want to sign a contract with us, there's certain fucking rules you have to follow. Oh, boo fucking who? I don't know how to business because I'm just an indie. I took game development classes and then took classes on communist theory, and so like all I know is how to make a shitty furry game, and then cry about how life's unfair. Boo fucking who? I believe they are taking away developers' freedom to use different pricing models. No, they're not. Go sell it on your website. You mentioned you could do that. Go sell it on Epic. Go sell it on GOG. Go sell it on Origin. But they won't have your fucking game. Let's be real. You got onto Steam with your shitty fucking furry game because Steam will let pretty much anything on their fucking platform. Because they give the most freedom to players. But you know, you do you. In my opinion, that is part of why all competing stores have failed. Have they? Is Epic Games out of business? Is GOG out of business? Is Microsoft Game Pass out of business? I was unaware. They all failed. Wow. That's weird. Is Activision Blizzard's launcher? Battle.net failed, right? Oh, Riot Games failed. Yeah, go fuck yourself. You're lying. You're flat out lying. In response to the blog post, former Valve writer Chet Falazek, whose credits include Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and 2, Left 4 Dead, and Porter, challenged Rosen's assertion. He says that Valve doesn't actually stop developers from pricing their games lower on other platforms. No. I don't think they do. His blog reads like something you'd see posted on his forum based on something he heard his older brother talking about. Oh, wow. Blown out. His main point is false today, Falzek tweeted. When asked what he meant by about today, Falzek continued, I'm not going to make conjecture of what he was told 10 years ago, but you can see the proof online today. This isn't true, and it's not captured in the agreement. So, and yeah, he has here the actual agreement if we want to take a look at that. I did not set out. Yeah. Well, no, that's just a quote from his whatever. He's right. His blog does read something you'd read on a forum. This is a cranky, like I say, indie developer who took classes in college on game development, gender theory, and communist theory. Right? That's what he took in college. And so now he's trying to apply all those three things, and he's bad at all of them. Fazek linked 2 games, Dying Like the Following and Ghost Runner, which at the time were priced lower on GOG than they are on Steam. Indie developer Joe Wintergreen questions Fazek's conclusions, however, saying that he knows several I know a guy who have also been told they're not allowed to undercut Steam's prices on other storefronts. He also suggested that the policy doesn't necessarily have to be codified to have an impact. Yeah, people are talking in back rooms, guys. Has Steam, I want a record of this. Has Steam pulled a game for undercutting on another storefront? Show me that game. Show me evidence of this claim. It's bullshit. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a dev subject to Steam's whims that would share your trust in their never having policies outside their agreements. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find an example of what you're fucking claiming. How about that? All you've said is you don't think there's anything about this in their agreement. I know several devs who say this has happened to them. Okay, names, proof, show me. Oh, but you won't, right? Valve don't have to reach out. They just have to say no when you check it's okay. There are many examples of non-pricing parity, and Valve will sometimes disallow you from doing that. Can both be true. Okay. You can't prove any of this, so hearsay is your evidence. Cool. Wintergreen also posted an image of part of an online form for requesting Steam keys to sell on other platforms, which requires the developer to certify that they are not giving Steam customers a worse deal than they'd get on other storefronts. The language it contains is notably flexible. Okay, let's see what it says. Let's take a look here. Before completing your key request, please review and agree that you understand the following. I understand that I need to sell my game on other stores in a similar way to how I am selling my game on Steam. I agree that I am not giving Steam customers a worse deal. I understand that while it is okay to run a discount on different stores at different times, I agree to give the same offer to Steam customers within a reasonable amount of time. I understand that if I request an extreme number of keys and I'm not offering Steam customers a fair deal, or if my sole business is selling Steam keys and not offering value to Steam customers, My request may be denied, and I may lose the privilege to request Steam keys. Valve reserves the right to deny keys or revoke key requesting privileges for partners that are abusing them or disadvantaging Steam customers. Yeah. And you agree to that. Get fucked, furry boy. You agreed it. Or he's not furry boy. Look at this. Look at this poofy-haired little weirdo. Okay, whatever. Wolffire's lawsuit references that key request form as well, saying that Valve allows developers to sell a limited number of Steam keys through other stores, but has rigged the Steam key program so that it serves as a tool to maintain Valve's dominance. Oh, that's garbage. They let us sell on other platforms, but like they've rigged it. Get fucked. People want Steam keys, dude. It's supply and demand. If you're not supplying Steam keys, nobody wants you. Nobody wants your fucking Ubisoft Connect key or whatever. Like nobody wants your fuck. Put explicitly by Valve. We want to avoid a situation where customers get a worse offer on the Steam store. The suit states, but that is equivalent to preventing gamers from obtaining a better offer from a competing distributor. The effect of this rule is to stifle competition. No, it's not. It's to say if you want to fucking compete with Steam, you can't be on Steam. It's not anti-competitive, you fucking moron. It seems like an awful lot of confusion over what should be fairly simple. There's no confusion here. These people are wrong, and the court will back me up on this, and they'll back Valve up on this. You want to fucking take bets, Andy Chuck? About what policies Valve has, if any, regarding pricing parity on other storefronts. Falzek wasn't speaking in any kind of official capacity. He left Valve in 2017 and is currently doing his own thing at Stray Bombay Company. And the games he cited as examples of lower pricing were both currently on sale on GOG, but at regular price on Steam. So what? Again, show me proof. Show me a game that got pulled off of Steam because they sold it cheaper elsewhere, and that was the reasoning given to the developer. Show me that example. Until you do, you're wrong. You're making shit up. And Rosen's lawsuit isn't the only one to make an assertion that Valve has final say over game pricing on Steam. Of course they have final say on game pricing on their platform. A different suit filed in January against Valve and a number of game developers makes the same claim, saying that Valve abuses the Steam platform's market power by requiring game developers to enter into a most favored nations provision contained in the Steam distributor license agreement, whereby the game developers agree that the price of a PC game on the Steam platform will be the same price the game developers sell their PC games on other platforms. Yeah, okay. And you agreed to it. You agreed to this. It's completely... See, the thing about Valve that you need to know is that everything they do is like premised on being voluntary and consent based. Being that I believe that they've been strong. A lot of the top guys, including Gabe, are strongly influenced by Noam Chomsky. So, whatever. Epic CEO Tim Sweeney has also previously accused Valve of holding veto power over pricing and using it to enforce price parity. Cool story, bro. No one cares. Given the long-standing uncertainty, it's not uncertain, it does seem possible that Valve takes a discretionary approach to ensuring developers don't step too far out of line on other storefronts and won't have any kind of firm policy on the matter unless and until the courts mandate one. Yeah, of course. On a related note, Valve has been quietly tweaking its Steam Direct submission guidelines, and its judgments have confused at least one adult game dev. Yeah. Your attacks on Steam are noted, dude. I'm not even going to cover the other one. Porn game maker mad that they got rejected for their porn game being on Steam. But let's take a quick look here at Overgrowth. So what kind of game is Overgrowth? Well, I have the trailer here. I don't want to play the audio, but it's basically like Kung Fu Rabbits. And it looks cool in the trailer. It's $30. And so I found it on OpenCritic. Top critic average is 62. Weak. 21% of critics recommend. It's pretty much me. Even PC Gamer thought it was pretty mediocre. And that's how it's seen. Metacritic, no results found. So they don't even have and look, it's just yeah, IGN mediocre. That's probably the best review I found. So these people made a furry kung fu game. It didn't do well. Maybe it did well on itch.io or some garbage site like that. Which again, are you claiming that they've failed? I'm not so sure. They got bought up by Epic, didn't they? Huh, interesting. Anyway, it's this garbage like half-baked indie game. I mean, I was looking at the Steam reviews and they're equally like not as good. The first one I saw said 30% of a game. Boring, feels unfinished. This game needs substance, less content than offline Gary's mod. Oof. 12-year-old game that was never finished. Yeah. So there you go. That's what people think of your furry game, your furry kung fu game that everybody hates. And the very few people are going to buy it $30, and you wanted to put it at $20 and have Steam take less money out or whatever. And Steam was like, okay, but we're not going to sell it. Or not. Like again, citation needed on that. Show me one person that Valve has done that to. But either way, you studied, gender theory and labor theory of value in college, along with your game development, and you made a crappy Unity game, because that's what this looks like. It looks like a crappy Unity game with, look at blocky textures and bad physics and basic like mechanics that you probably got off the Unity store. Let's be real. I haven't played the game, so I'm not gonna say that's for certain, but that's what it looks like in your trailer. It looks like a furry game with bad mechanics that you made out of a bunch of. I mean, like look at these backgrounds. It's literally just like flat, empty terrain. This is your thumbnail, right? Flat, empty terrain. A couple of like blocky things there, no textures on anything, and a bunny man standing there. Yeah, cool story, bro. That definitely looks like something I want to buy. And that's true of everything. Like, look at these textures. Look at this water. I mean, this wouldn't fly on Xbox 360, much less like current day PC. Yeah, look at this. It's terrible. It looks awful. Your trailer isn't convincing me to buy the game, and I don't think it convinced anybody else. That's why you're trying to sue Steam. Get fucked, commie.